Good morning. Bitcoin has set a new all-time high at $67,873. We are entering the golden age of crypto. Bitcoin has had its highest ever daily close. We are probably going to get a new all-time high in the next few minutes. Power's just cut rates. 100K is in play. Here in Australia, more individual freedom is being lost. JP Morgan, they have come out bullish, though. It is a grand and glorious day. You must see this video. It's so crazy. There's just no way it's true. However, it's too good to be true.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
Hi.
The Fed is the final boss. Jerome Powell. No, absolutely not. I will not leave. Fred Krueger, we're beyond the charts. There is nothing in the past that suggests where we might go in the next 180 days. Has anybody checked on Gareth Soloway? Bitcoin has made its highest ever daily close yesterday, $75,626. We are sitting above that. Right now it's 76,200. Just in, JP Morgan, $3.4 trillion JP Morgan says Donald Trump's victory would benefit Bitcoin. It's about time. It is number go up for the next 6, 12 months, maybe indefinitely. Maybe not indefinitely, but it's a grand and glorious time. Minute 30, well worth our listen.
Show to get to every asset class that is rallying hard today. Bitcoin certainly among them. Take a look, almost 75,000. As investors are betting on a friendlier environment for that industry under a second Trump administration. Mackenzie Sigalos is following that story for us. Mackenzie.
Hey, Scott. Bitcoin briefly surging to a new record high as investors bet that Donald Trump will deliver on his pro-crypto promises, especially with a Republican-controlled Senate behind him and after getting more than $25 million from crypto donors. Now, Trump's main pledge is to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who's brought more than 100 enforcement actions against industry leaders like Coinbase and Robinhood. Those stocks are pumping 25% and
just in regards to Gary Gensler, we're going to get into a deeper article in regards to it. Let's just not brush over that. That's big news.
17% respectively today, with Robinhood on pace for its best day in over 2 years. Bitcoin miners are also getting a boost this morning, with Trump having promised on the campaign trail that all future Bitcoin will be mined in the U.S. Marathon, Riot, and Bit Digital are all trading up more than 14%. And driving small caps higher as well. Now, in terms of the market outlook, multiple analysts are expecting Bitcoin will hit $100,000 before Trump's inauguration, especially if he delivers on promises like launching a strategic national crypto stockpile with the $15 billion worth of Bitcoin that it already has on its books from asset seizures. And Scott, Bitcoin now up 6.
It's about 200,000 Bitcoin the US government holds currently. Already, it's year one of the strategic reserve asset, and we are going to dive a little bit more into Gary Gensler. But first, the price in the last 24 hours. We're just below this at the moment, 76,500. I'll hit refresh. 76,217. We did have a high. It was an all-time high, 76,872. That happened like an hour ago. And we're just looking to find stable ground, see if we can hold above 76,000 and then go back up. Very possible we get $77,000 Australian hours today. The market is closed in the US. Good thing about Bitcoin, it never closes. Check out this. It's nearly been a God candle week, nearly in the US. We did have a God candle yesterday in Australia or the day before. But 7-day range, 67,393 was the low. Nearly 10 grand, about 9,300. A high of 76,683 was 76,872. Last 24 hours, nice and tight with $2,400 spread there. We'll come back to the charts. We've got a nice big chart for everyone here in the background. We've got it on the 1 minute chart. It's a little bit too intense for me, but we'll leave it there. Now, carrying on this morning, Matt Hogan, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. This is the golden age of Bitcoin, of crypto, he says, but we'll come back to that one. It's good. It's just a little long. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, it saw a record volume of 1 billion today in the first 20 minutes. Are you ready? So this is yesterday, but the inflows, they are just starting. It's getting pretty exciting. You know, Trump, the strategic reserve asset, That would be at today's price if they were to buy 1 million coins at 76 billion. We have Michael Saylor saying that he's going to buy $44 billion. This is over 5 years. It's roughly in line with Michael Saylor's 44 billion over the next 3 years of buying pressure. It's like 500 coins a day each, or 460 coins each a day at today's price. It's absolutely insane. MicroStrategy, they've broken above the $50 billion market cap and are now worth more than the Ford Motor Company. Bitcoin's literally taken over the entire world in such a positive way for the better. It's incredible. Ford has lost 60% of its market cap since 2022 and holds 26 billion in cash. That's 65% of its total market cap. The Melton Ice Cube cash holdings erode by inflation year after year. This is what Michael Saylor feared for his company when he decided to buy Bitcoin in 2020. Since then, MicroStrategy's market cap is up 45x since then. TikTok next blog. We are approaching the $1 billion mark in missed gains for Germany. This is why you don't sell your Bitcoin. Sorry, Germany, have fun staying poor. It's when they sold out at 57,700. We are now 20,000 above that. They needed to do it legally. They should have got together with the think tank and found a better way to hold on for dear life. If they had held, they would have an additional gross amount. $827 million they've missed out on. Sorry, Germany. Can't help those who can't help themselves. Now, talking about people not being able to help themselves, that right has been taken away from parents here in Australia. Anthony Albanese, Australian Prime Minister, a minimum age for social media of 16 years will make a difference. Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. Basically, Anthony Albanese, he wants to help parents and families to know that the government has your back. This is amazing. First time in human history, but cool. That's well done. But parents can no longer decide if their kids interact with social media or not. It's up to this gentleman here. Let us know your thoughts on that. Bloody hell. Now, Andy, I couldn't agree more. Andy's from the Bitcoin Way. The Bitcoin Way is the most important company in the Bitcoin industry. The team wakes up every day helping people achieve freedom, either through consultations or providing high quality content. Multiple nodes go online every day and counterparty risks get removed from our clients. Set up sovereignty as possible, and the Bitcoin Way will show you how. If you've watched the channel, you've seen that they're channel partners. They're the best in the business. I just want to play this video. We haven't done that before, and well put together.
The mission that we have at the Bitcoin Way is to help everyone gain full control of their Bitcoin.
A lot of people, they've become their own bank because they've bought Bitcoin. But that means they're also the head of security. You know, being your own bank, it's not a joke. You know, you have to take this stuff seriously. And most people haven't got 30 years cybersecurity experience.
We have combined so many years of IT, encryption, cybersecurity background into this beautiful project where we help people actually utilize Bitcoin the way it was meant to be utilized and store it the way it was meant to be stored.
What the Bitcoin Way will do is through direct one-to-one consultation, they will handhold you through the whole process.
If your Bitcoin's on the exchange, you're not doing Bitcoin properly. They truly are the best team in the world to help you master your Bitcoin, get it into self-custody, lock down your cybersecurity. I've put a link at the top of the description. The first 30 minutes is free. Reach out, have a chat, secure it, because your stack's going up forever. Laura, we're at 76,187 US dollars, and it's just beginning. I was talking to Mark Moss yesterday, absolutely epic pod coming out shortly. He's talking about $2 or $3 million Bitcoin in the next 5 to 10 years, and we're only at 76,000. He lays out all the math, absolutely insane. So please protect it. Don't lose it and don't sell it like Germany, or do, but you know what happens. It's just, the whole environment has just turned so bullish overnight. Like, there's still 3 months before the inauguration, but the environment is shifting. It's swinging more decentralized, pro Bitcoin. And, you know, there's that saying, you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. Bitcoin spent the last 16 years getting ready. It's just a teenager. It's ready to walk and stand up on its own 2 feet, and it's coming. It's hungry. Anyway, just in, Mike Novogratz says after Trump's win, he sees a substantial shift in the energy of the crypto industry. This will bring hundreds of billions of dollars into the ecosystem.
We should also mention that crypto prices, they are surging right now. This is after Donald Trump's electoral victory. You're looking at Bitcoin at $73,000, almost $74,000 this morning. At one point, it was, I think, even marginally higher. Want to bring in Galaxy founder and CEO Mike Novogratz. Mike, I believe that you were supporting the other candidate, but I'm curious, as you see these markets moving the way they are, what your reaction is.
Listen, it was a great night for the crypto industry, right? And if you listen to your last guest, Donald Trump, that keeps his promises. If you go back to the speech he made at Nashville to the crypto community, his agenda is very pro-crypto. J.D. Vance is pro-crypto, Peter Thiel, Howard Lutnick, Kennedy. He surrounded himself by people that believe in the industry, care about the industry. I mean, the crypto community showed up, right? There are now over 240 congressmen who, the crypto PAC thought were pro-crypto. And so we've got a Congress that is moving our way. We've got a president that's moving our way. And so for Galaxy, for the crypto industry, I couldn't be more optimistic.
And in terms of your optimism, it relates to the way this is going to be regulated, because now you have a bet going that there will be a Bitcoin reserve for the country. I mean,
just before he gets into the Bitcoin reserve, because it's going to send it parabolic, I can see Ricardo there in the chat. God candles galore. Well, let's effing go. That's pretty much where we are. Number, go up, technology. Even if we get some corrections for the next 3, 6, 12 months, it is going to get insanely bullish, insanely frothy. This is my opinion. Just please keep a level head and remember that anything under $1 million, Bitcoin's still cheap. You just buy a stack and chill. It's going to be fun though. Both ways, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days where it pumps up. Like we literally had that 2 days ago here in Australia. A $10,000 candle in one day, but we'll get them to the downside as well. And that's what I look forward to. That's when it gets real fun. But just be aware, the God candles both ways. They are coming for sure.
Sort of.
Listen, I'm not sure we end up
play
getting
out the permutations
So let's talk about it.
here.
I think the biggest thing is the OCC, the FDIC, the SEC, the regulatory chairs getting direction from a president and a secretary of treasury that says, hey, we want to lead in this industry. Those three positions with someone who's open-minded to crypto and who's pro-crypto changes everything. Allowing State Street and Bank of New York to custody crypto, allowing the banks to hold it on their balance sheet will bring in billions, hundreds of billions of participants into our ecosystem. And all of a sudden, we'll start seeing decentralized systems launched and work. And so this is really a step change shift. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, right? You don't get a new SEC chair in a week. But over the next 1, 2, 3, 6 months, as these new people are put in these positions, I think you're going to see a substantial shift in the energy of this industry.
Mike, to the extent you want to throw out some names, who do you think might be up for this SEC role? I know we've had a lot of names thrown around for the Treasury Secretary role. We just talked to Scott Bessent, and we had John Paulson on the program earlier this week. Those are two names that have been floated for that role. We also have had Jay Clayton and others. Who do you think would be the right person to run the SEC under a second Trump administration?
Listen, Hester Pierce has been there, and they call her crypto mom. And I know she's probably throwing her name in her name in that.
That'd be pretty amazing, Hester Pierce.
The hat. The chief legal officer at Robinhood has been thrown in. I'm not sure the exact person matters as long as they're very open-minded to this industry. And I think there's just no way Trump's not going to pick someone who, listen, right. He's launched his own coin. And so, his family is engaged, he's engaged. And so I just think it's hard to you got to wake up and slap yourself in the face. We have gone 4 years of a very, very difficult regulatory.
Not really interested in Trump's coin, but just thinking about it as Mike Novogratz brought that up there. We haven't heard anything about it. Even the most popular person in the world that just won the US presidency launched an altcoin, a crypto, and it failed dramatically. Like, that's the worth of them. They're all shitcoin. That's why it's Bitcoin only. And Gary Gensler getting out there, being replaced by Hester Peirce, that would be absolutely amazing if we can make that happen. We'll come back to it because it's still an amazing video, but I've got a short attention span. Sometimes we just watched a video. So the Fed rate cut by 25 basis points just happened. You obviously saw Jerome Powell saying, no, he's staying there forever. Bitcoin price at record as Powell says Trump win has no effect on the policy. As widely expected by market participants, the US Federal Reserve lowered its benchmark Fed's fund rate by 25 basis points to 4.5 to 4.75 on Thursday. Today, following the footsteps of other central banks to loosen monetary policy since earlier in the year. Labour market conditions have generally eased, and the unemployment rate has moved up, but it still remains low. So the press release said, inflation has made progress toward the committee's 2% objective, but remains somewhat elevated. Okay, not saying much. Some observers, they mulled the possibility that the new president-elect's promised policies such as tax cuts, tariffs, and deregulation to stimulate economic growth could reignite inflationary pressures, prompting the Fed to take a more cautionary approach. Powell did say that monetary policy is still restrictive, even with today's easing, but downside risk to economic growth has diminished since the Fed's September 50 basis point cut. To reporters' questions, he also said he would not resign if Trump asked him to leave, and firing or demoting him is not permitted under the law. Bitcoin is the mother of all scams. Nouriel Roubini. Those are the experts teaching at universities and getting paid with our tax money. What a joke. Bitcoin is the mother of all scams, and blockchain is the most high-tech ever. Roubini tells Congress this October 11, 2018. He hasn't changed his tune much either. Bank of England also cut rates by 25 basis points down to 4.75. Australia early this week, or last week. It's been a blur. My apologies. I did not cut interest rates, and I did see something that they were saying due to Trump winning, they're probably going to have to raise interest rates. Paraphrasing, but pretty much is what they said. So we'll see. Inflation fell to a 3-year low in September. Still doesn't mean prices are not going up. They're just going up at a slower price rate. I just love how they gaslight us over and over. But, you know, people are truly waking up. Yesterday, Bitcoin's ETF saw the highest positive spot net flow ever. Human history. That's amazing. People are starting to wake up, seeing there's a solution. Bitcoin on the exchanges or in the ETF. So I don't know. It's not freedom technology. Yeah, it's number go up. Definitely not freedom tech. Bitcoin, it's going to go beyond 10 million in today's dollars in the next 4 years. Maybe that's a little bit high, but when I was talking to Mark Moss yesterday, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It's going to be a super epic rip. I just set him up with some really strong questions and then let Mark, he's the subject expert, talk. A lot of value there, but he is talking about a $2 or $3 million Bitcoin in the next 4, 5 to 10 years. Crazy. He lays out all the math for it. Bitcoin for freedom, 10 million in today's dollars in the next 4 years. This guy's brother Bullish here. OTC desks and exchanges are getting empty. It depends what Trump does, I guess. If he goes hard for that million coins, if, you know, be interesting to see Microsoft, December 10th, I believe, we find out if they're going to start adding Bitcoin onto the balance sheet. The world's coming for it. It's incredible. But rates are getting lower. Game theory between Russia, China, and the USA. Then game will happen this cycle. Get ready. And maybe it does. Maybe it does. And that's where Bitcoin in self-custody, running your own node, is absolutely imperative. Well, game theory. Game theory is in play now. It's the world shifted dramatically. We're just above 76,000. Just. We'll see if it holds. Hopefully it doesn't. That's my bias. Anyway, stats per dollar. What? 3-4 days ago, this was above 1,400. Now we're at 1,307, but it's still an amazing deal. 1,307 sats for every depreciating dollar. Every little bit of monopoly money, you get the world's hardest money, you can still buy it. Good deal. But the market cap, 1.51 trillion. We haven't seen that for a long time. For the whole market, have we ever seen 1.5 trillion. Potentially not. No, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Bitcoin's just going to go up into the right. Fees, they're still bloody cheap, which is cool. Presets per VByte. What else are we looking at here? Difficulty went up. How are the blocks running? A little bit fast yesterday. Over the last 24 hours. Not by much. Pretty much working as intended. It's even running a little bit faster than Bitcoin's average over a 16-year time frame. Now, I play this video. We are entering the golden age of crypto. It's 3 minutes 14. Well worth listening to Matt Hogan diving in, explaining the thesis, what it means for us. Number go up. That's the TLDR, but we'll hand it over to Matt.
Good morning. Crypto markets are rallying sharply this morning after last night's landslide election, which installed Trump in the White House and elected a very pro-crypto Congress in both the Senate and the House. Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Other assets like Solana are rallying even further. I have 3 big takeaways from last night's election. The first big thing is we are entering the golden age of crypto. For the last 4 and indeed the last 8 years, crypto has been operating with 1 or maybe 2 arms tied behind its back. It's faced aggressive persecution from the SEC, multiple lawsuits, and a regulatory cloud that kept mainstream out of crypto. That is going to be washed away, in my expectation, in the first 100 days of the new administration. And we're going to get a fair, balanced playing field where we'll see what crypto can do. That will mean stablecoin legislation, it'll be market clarity legislation, and most importantly, it will remove the cloud hanging over crypto and allow institutional investors to evaluate it for what it is. From my perspective, that's going to be more flows and more adoption and a strong bull market for years to come.
Just real quick, so he's got 3 points. We'll get through the other 2 in 2 secs. In regards to all the regulation, the clarity around the regulation, the clarity around Bitcoin is very clear, but the psyop that's gone on for the last couple of years and people coming in, they just open it and there's a whole lot of innovation. It will bring new people in regardless, so I don't think that's such a bad thing. If clarity is provided for the crypto bros, it may. I don't think there's any worth in there, personally. All up, yes, like 0.1% of projects, maybe they do something exciting. But it will bring new people, and it'll be a digital gold rush. So I don't think it's the worst thing.
The second thing to remember is that we were already in a bull market prior to last night's election, with multiple significant catalysts pushing us towards all-time highs. We had record institutional investment into crypto. You can see that in the $23 billion of net flows into Bitcoin ETFs this year, which, by the way, I expect to accelerate in 2025. We had the effect of the Bitcoin halving in April of this year, reducing supply in the market. We had record fiscal deficits. US debt is now $36 trillion and adding $1 trillion every 100 days. And I don't expect that to slow down in a new administration. We had real-world use cases emerging like stablecoins and prediction markets and gaming. And we had blockchain technology improving at an accelerating rate. I was already very bullish before last night's election. Now I'm the most bullish I've ever been. The third thing I would add is a note of caution. All that yesterday's election does is put crypto on a level playing field. There are both good and bad projects in crypto, things that will thrive in this level playing field and things that will fail. It's incumbent on investors to know the difference. We'll be doing our part at Bitwise through CIO memos and research reports, and I encourage you to do your part as well. One closing thought, which is to offer congratulations to all of you who stuck your neck out on crypto when it was unpopular, who saw opportunity where others saw only risk. Thank you for being on this journey with us.
I like Matt Hogan. I've had him on the show before. If you haven't seen it, go back and find that episode. Really, they're Wall Street, and I can see the value proposition of the ETFs for a select cohort or several cohorts of people. Real cool guy. I'll get him back on the show. It's the golden age. It's pretty interesting to be able to see. But we'll get him back and we'll talk about it. If you replace everything every time he says crypto with Bitcoin, it's pretty bullish. And I think the regulation will be good. But he did give a pretty good warning. I'm here to save money. That's more of a degeneracy gambling mindset. But everything's starting to change. Like this is pretty interesting. You know, Nouriel Roubini came out the other day and said if Trump got in, it'd be the end of like the global world order, which to me sounds like a good thing. Robert F. Kennedy comes along with Trump, and Robert F. Kennedy, I love this. I really think this is really, really cool. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, vitamins, clean food. I definitely said that one wrong. Anyway, clean food, sunshine, exercise. I've never heard that word. I'm not even going to be able to pronounce it. I'm going to skip it. Nutraceuticals and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA in a part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. Number one, preserve your records. And number two, pack your bags. It'll be interesting going from centralized to decentralized, from the government's big pharma looking after health to be able to provide things to allow people to be able to look after their health. We did just crash hugely. So sad. We're under $76,000. It's a good thing. Anyway, flipping gears, we'll finish up in Gary Gensler. This morning, he could lose his SEC chair gig under Trump. With the crypto-friendly Donald Trump being elected president, industry leaders are now waiting for his first big move, which could be appointing a new chair of the US SEC. One of President-elect Donald Trump's many promises to fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new chair of the US SEC Commission could happen as soon as Jan 20, the day of his inauguration. Gensler, for example, took office less than 11 weeks after being appointed by Joe Biden on February 3rd, 2021. Gensler could also step down before Trump takes office, in which case the Democratic Party would appoint an interim chair. Arguably one of the most crucial promises, maybe second to Free Ross day one. That's the only one that I'd love him to keep, the only one I care about. Everything else we can take responsibility for. But arguably one of the most crucial promises Trump made to pull the crypto community onto his side was this. On day one, I'll fire Gary Gensler. Good. While he can't force Gensler to step down as a commissioner at the US SEC, he can name a new interim SEC chair as soon as he's inaugurated Jan 20. He can also nominate a new commissioner to the Senate, which has to confirm the pick. Do it in a roundabout way. Ooh, we've just turned red. Bitcoin, it's all over, ladies and gentlemen. Pack our bags. That was fun. Ball run. It's done. Given Republicans have retaken control of the Senate after flipping several seats during Tuesday's presidential election, Trump's pick would have a good chance of making it through the vote and a new chair could take office within a few months. Gensler, for example, was nominated by President Biden on Feb 3rd, 21, confirmed by the Senate April 14, sworn into office April 17. Gensler, he has made enemies in the crypto sector due to his insistence that the agency has sufficient rules and regulations for the industry already, a status quo crypto leaders disagree with. Let's just hope he fires Gary Gensler day one. It's grand and glorious. Frees Ross, fires Gary Gensler. Just free Ross. The rest, who cares? But yes, that would be super cool as well. That's the news with the fast facts. If you're hanging around for a banter, g'day. If you're heading off, thank you very much. Have a grand, glorious day. Smash the like button. Greatly appreciated. Shout out to everyone that is tuning in. It's pretty exciting. And the red days, I'm sure it doesn't flip anyone out. Now, these are an opportunity. Like, it's just dropped under. But I prefer to see red, and I hope you do too, because it's going to get volatile. Like, we say it all the time, but Bitcoin really only makes its gains 10 to like 11 days per year. One of those days was yesterday. Like, there's not that many times, and the rest it's either going sideways or down. Just be aware of it. So it's not going to be like these sometimes it will just be candle after candle after candle, green days, but not always. Hopefully you're prepared. Trump pump, Gargoyle in the house, Earth bum, good to see you this morning. Yemen, good to see you. Jake Thomas, Gargoyle, pump even. Phil Fortner, nation state adoption next up, way up, 2 million in 2025. Maybe. It's going to be a lot higher than what it is now. Yeah, I want it really to go up slower. There's so many people. Bitcoin's the life raft. But, you know, when you talk to Tony from the Bitcoin Way, when I talk to him from the Bitcoin Way, he truly believes this may be one of the last periods of time. Maybe we've got months, maybe we've got a year, maybe a couple of years left where the common person can actually buy Bitcoin, where we'll transition to a place where you can only earn Bitcoin. That's going to happen way too quick, in my opinion. So while it's cheap, it's better. It's scary when the price goes up too much. I prefer it when it's down. Greetings from the desert. All models are about to get broken. You know, even Fred Krueger is the second one. We're beyond charts. All models are broken. No, a chart's not a model, but he's putting his model on a chart. Yes, the world's just shifted. Totally. All charts, all models are broken. I completely agree. Phil. Old world finance is now learning a lesson on real value. Yes, and they're going to learn it real quick or get wrecked. Trump needs to redact capital gains tax on Bitcoin. Yeah, it'd be good. Australia's capital gains tax, they incentivize you to hold it. If you hold it for longer than 12 months and you make a profit and you sell out for fiat, I wouldn't call that a profit, but you're going back into the Pacific peso, you pay your marginal tax rate on 50% of those gains instead of the whole 100%. So they're incentivizing you to hold it for a year. Obviously, it's just better to hold on to it. And if you need to, I guess, loan against it is maybe a better option. I don't know. Yeah, all taxes, they suck. Peter McCormack came out. He's like, socialism, it's never worked anywhere. What did he say? I'll bring it up. I saw it this morning. Peter McCormack, Mr. Obnoxious. I should be able to find it pretty easy. Where is it? Hopefully it wasn't just a reply. There, socialism is a failed idea. It has never worked. It will never work. Taxes come along with socialism, unfortunately. So yes, I agree. If we can redact all capital gains tax, I just don't think it's very likely. So I just understand that the system is what the system is. Fuming about the mad bill, government couldn't be a bigger pain in our lives. Yeah, it's absolutely freaking insane. The mad bill, misinformation, disinformation bill, like digital IDs are enacted in 3 weeks here in Australia. It's crazy. Socialism, it's a failed idea, but it's an idea that's here. And there are good aspects about it. I love, like when I burnt my arm, I absolutely appreciate the health and hospital services. Incredible. Garbage collection, running water, these things I enjoy. I would happily pay taxes for that, but for the rest of it and the crazy amounts of spending and wastage of money, it could be done better with even just a smaller government. No government, run by the people. Don't know how that would work so well. I don't know in a modern economy. But what we have now, it's horrific and they're getting desperate. So like that control is just closing more and more and more. That mad bill, I talked to Mark about it in that podcast. We really dived into these attacks on freedom of speech, but the window's shifting. The needle is moving. We're going from centralized to decentralized. So gave me a little bit of hope, but then he did say, you know, you guys gave up your guns. You're pretty much fucked. On the other side of things, I've invited all my Jake Thomas at Stack Sats and Stay Humble. I've invited all my in-laws and outlaws over for Thanksgiving at the farm this year, serving them all crow. They can eat as much humble pie they can hodl. Pumbaa, Bitcoin is such a wild technology. I could not agree more. Number go up side of it's good, but the freedom side of it, the sovereignty side that Bitcoin, It's the only time ever in all of human history, however long that is, 4 billion years or whatever, since the time of the Big Bang, if the Big Bang happened. I think the Big Bang's the best explanation. I'm not smart enough to disagree with it. So we'll go with the time of the Big Bang. Say that's 4 billion years or however long. If somebody can fact check me, that'll be great. I'll get down to it. This is the only time in human history that we're aware of where we can completely be a self-sovereign individual, and Bitcoin has allowed that to happen. Bitcoin is a freaking wild idea. It's the most amazing idea I've ever come across in my entire life. It's freaking captivating. And its number go up. It's, I don't know, it's just perfect in every single way. It's amazing. It's absolutely wild technology. I couldn't agree more. Pumba. Gargoyle bought another chunk of sats just before the election results, already in profit, 100%. Buying them now, buying them at all-time highs. Getting out of fiat, we're always already in profit. But yes, it's a nice feeling. It's validating when the number goes up, for sure. It just means we get less sats per dollar, and I don't believe any of us have enough. Yeah. Even Fred Krueger, he could peel all day and have more than us combined. I still don't think he has enough. I think he thinks he doesn't have enough, to be more accurate. But well done, Gargoyle. Whale purchase drive the price exponentially higher, making a 1 million coin purchase 25 to 50x more expensive than today's price. Large purchase of Bitcoin get curve up pricing due to availability drying up quick. 100%. Michael, this is so cool. This is part of my daily routine. Thanks, Sean. Greatly appreciate you being here. It just, hopefully, I get to talk about Bitcoin, drive through the news with the fast facts, and then to be able to start my day based on reality, something solid, which is Bitcoin. And yeah, we did go through the block clock, but that's what I find resets me each day, because you can't argue. The block clock is the block clock. It's what the most truthful counting system in the world. Block height, 869,338. That's where we are in time and space. The exchange rate, sats per dollar, 1,319. What you can get. The fees. See how much you need to pay to be able to interact with the space and time on the time chain. It's amazing. Really amazing. So I truly appreciate that. And, you know, I gain a lot out of it as well. And what I find so frustrating in real life is, even though I've been telling so many people for the last like 4 to 5 years to be able to buy Bitcoin, study Bitcoin, get some just a little bit, no, it's too expensive, I'll wait for 40K, I'll wait for 20K, I'll wait for blah, 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 50K or whatever, like, and they still haven't, and you run into someone yesterday, I was telling them about it. I'm like, fuck, like it's literally just going up forever. Please understand, it's the most important thing ever. And then to be able to show up each day, and for me to be able to talk about it, reorientate, because we can get distracted. There's so much fugazi and shiny shit going on in the world. And I find it very important, as my daily habit, is to come back to what is true. And that's Bitcoin. The price, like, it's cool, but it's more like the time chain and where we are in time and space. About 16 years in. I was just going to hit and run with the cash, and I thought, fiat, why? I love it. Going into the cold card as soon as my waitlist clears in 48 hours. Epic. It's really strong, solid device. God candles galore. Send it. Ricardo, I'm not too concerned. At the end of the day, no matter what's selling, if Bitcoin can retain 70K, it's all up from here. Yeah, even 69,000, 420. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much the meme. Life is a meme, and Bitcoin is that meme. It's crazy. It's just in so many ways Bitcoin comes in. Or maybe we're just looking for rhymes where there is none. Maybe. But I also don't believe there's anything. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Gary Gensler, going to get your fired. Lurk Strats, what is the best exchange to buy $30,000 worth of Bitcoin today in Australia? I don't really like recommending any exchange, but for the cheapest amount of sats per dollar, it's a shitcoin exchange for like a large chunk. If you just DCN, maybe Bitcoin, like Bitcoin only are better, but for a larger chunk, maybe independent, probably independent reserve. But go out and do your own research. It is a shitcoin. Don't leave $30,000 on an exchange, especially a shitcoin casino. just never leave any Bitcoin. Whatever you're comfortable walking around with in your wallet, whether it's 1,000 or 10,000, whatever that is that you're totally willing to lose, that's the most ever. If 30,000, if you're willing to throw it away, leave it there. But you know, if you just get it, independent reserve straight into a cold card, yeah, you're good. I feel bad recommending a shitcoin casino, but if you want cheap sats, it's probably one of the cheap ones to be able to look at. Sean, you've changed my life forever. 14 months ago, I listened to you for the first time. 2 months later in November last year, I took the big orange pill and started stacking hard, really hard. Darren Parry. Well, that's insane. And I just want to say, Darren, it's you who changed your life. You took action. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. For everyone here that are putting the proof work, that are reading the books, that are studying, if you're new to Bitcoin and you're this far in, like 41 minutes in, like, well done to you. There's a lot of nuance in the conversation that I will skip over, you know, from day to day with the news. I try to just get the news out with the fast facts. For the simple reason that just continuous exposure to Bitcoin, it's just truth. It's just life. It's just honesty. It's just a fair system of measurement that we've never had before. And it truly is freedom technology. And if I can just repeat the same thing over and over and over again to be able to help someone to want to then go on to be able to read the books or you hear a podcast, like the conversation with Mark, I asked him about 4 questions and then just let him talk. To be able to sit there, and, it was crazy. I asked him this like super in-depth question, and I'll come back. I'm doing the what's Trump call the weave. I'm trying to do the weave here, but I grabbed out my notebook and pen and just sat there, dumbfounded that I was sitting there with Mark Moss. So like, there's a benefit for me, but really, as just the books, the podcast, everything that helped and changed my entire life. And then nobody can change anyone else's life. It's by us putting in the proof of work. And Darren, you have done that clearly. Everyone here has done it. And then for the person that's new, that's spent 42 minutes listening to me, coming new into the space, the news is probably not the greatest thing to totally consume yourself with, because a lot of it, you know, with the price and stuff pumping. Go back through Robert Breedlove's series, What is Money, with Michael Saylor, those first 13 episodes that he did, or there's a playlist with it. Go through. Those are absolutely imperative. But it's just about exposure, and it's going to take 100 hours of studying Bitcoin, beers for Bitcoin. That's the quickest way. Just go as hard as you can. I promise you it's still cheap, this price. Anyone new get into the space, anyone here for a while, like it's all on you. But Darren, that's freaking... That's exciting. That's absolutely amazing. I'm glad I was part of that journey of you putting in the own proof of work and changing your own life. Yes, mate, I'd love to thank you in person at Bitcoin Alive in March. Mate, I'll buy your steak. Let's go. If you eat steak, maybe you don't eat steak, but let's go. That'll be absolutely epic. People get to Bitcoin conferences. If you've been stacking for a while, go there and network. Bitcoiners are the most amazing people ever in the world. I'll only ever work with Bitcoiners, and my interactions with people that have a Bitcoin mindset, or they are someone with enough time to be able to understand Bitcoin. That's the people I want to be able to interact with, and to be able to go to an event where it's just like 95% of people in that mindset. You've got just this most solid foundation. I truly suggest it for the networking. The speeches, the speakers, you'll see them on the computer. Seeing them in person, though, is pretty next level. To be able to shake Preston Pish, Mark Mosshand, Peter McCormack, Danny Knowles, that's pretty incredible. But it's the everyday person that doesn't show their face, that stays not as public online. Some of the most interesting characters I've ever met. Absolutely amazing. I strongly suggest it. 85 is coming really soon. Yeah, and then 100K. And then 200K, and then 250, and 500,000. A million's going to be here way too quick. Way too quick. It's just math. It's just inevitable. If you don't believe me, watch Greg Foss. I've got an amazing video with Greg Foss. Check that out. It's just math. He was calling it before the ETFs. But yes, Lurker, 85K is coming really soon. We're going to hang out there for a while. To be able to break even for inflation, well, it's like 79,000, isn't it? For the old all-time high, like the 69,000. I think so. I'm from Grant. When I was live, I started reading this comment. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. And I just thought, fuck. I just talked about Anthony Albanese, and I'm like, these people are coming. They're watching. I'm like, oh my God. That was the first thought that went in my mind. Look out. Get out the Vaseline. Yeah, that was my reaction. Oh man, this is going to hurt. Independent reserve is good for accounting through KPMG, I guess. Yes. Whatever way you can get the most amount of sats, go for it. Bitcoin only exchange are better. Some of them will have less liquidity. Is it the Amber app has just batched transactions? The Amber app, or I'm getting it wrong? I don't know. The fees, like they long term, even the spread, like doesn't matter. 75,000 or 80,000 if we are, and when we go to 1, 2, 3, 10 million. Not really. Yes and no. Yes and no. Don't waste that. Looks like JP Morgan has bent the knee to Bitcoin. Be interesting to see what Jamie Dimon does. Do I stop calling him Jamie Demon for the next 12 months or not? It'll be interesting to see what he comes out with now that the regime is shifting. Be interesting to see what Elizabeth Warren does. But yeah, JP Morgan, the bank, they've been pretty bullish the whole time. Consistently. Both sides, but they've been pretty fair. But yeah. Diamond. We'll go with Jamie Dimon. Let's be respectful. JP Morgan, the bank, is the largest shareholder of the Federal Reserve. If Trump really does make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset, maybe JP Morgan can have a part to play in that. They may not be opposed to it. Be interesting. We'll see. Feels like Americans are getting a sane, healthy, pro-freedom government. It's so amazing, like what your bias is, because some people think it's the exact opposite, that it's going to be total surveillance state, total control, total tyranny. But from my point of view, from what I've seen, yes, it does look like they are getting a sane, healthy, maybe not entirely healthy. I think for his age, absolutely. Cognitively very switched on, pro-freedom, it looks like it. Government, but pro-freedom government, those words are an oxymoron, aren't they? Like some things will change, some things will stay the same, but for the chance with Trump, Elon, Vivek, RFK behind it, like collectively, Tulsi Gabbard, those people behind it, not judging by all their words, but the actions that they've done. Trump's a businessman. Their American economy, or any government's economy, is a business. Elon Musk is, beyond a doubt, the world's smartest person, whether people agree with him or not. He's sending rockets to space. Like, another thing, like the first time in human history that's just happened, that just shifted with Trump being president-elect, is we have a very real possibility of Elon now sending a rocket ship to Mars. Like literally. When we did or didn't go to the moon as a species, like this is that next frontier. Like we've already gone to space. Maybe we have or haven't gone to the moon. I don't know. I really don't know. But the possibility of going back there or going to Mars has really happened. So that's pretty incredible. The EVs, I don't think like the batteries and stuff are good for the environment. It's new technology. Solar on houses and things on over farms, I'm not. So like there's good and bad. There's nuance in every conversation. But his actions, literally sending rockets to space. RFK, a major self-responsibility, sunlight, steak eating, hardworking, workout maximalist. Like it comes with all these people that have a lot of common sense. There'll be things that we don't agree with. with him as well. Sometimes, like with everything, it goes too far, but it went so far one way. It's coming back the other way. And then hopefully just like that's the politics have come so far and they're pulling us this way. Maybe we can just get dragged back into the center as a species and be level-headed. But here in Australia, we have the exact opposite. Keep us sick, silent to send us, and rip us off blind. Yeah, it happens, and it's happening. Like they've not a conspiracy. They've blanketed out the whole sky. I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's to stop clouds forming to be able to water. For the cattle farmers and stuff, like live in the beef capital of Australia. In Queensland, the beef capital of the world, like Queensland, Australia. Maybe that's happening, maybe it's not. But RFK is coming down and trying to ban things like that. There could be a shift for the better, or there may not be. I don't know. I don't have much faith in any government. I'd love to see Trump free Ross day one. And if he just did that, that's amazing. The rest of it, we can take responsibility and we can determine our own destiny and our own lives by buying Bitcoin. Under $76,000. That's super cool. And I think I'll do just that very shortly. But yeah, Australia is definitely going like very, very far the opposite of Trump. Trump's coming out against CBDCs. RFK's hugely coming out against CBDCs. Same as Vivek. Just like that alone, that's good for anyone. Whether you agree with Trump and the people behind him, as people and what they have or haven't done, like their personality, it shouldn't be about that. Like what they're doing against CBDCs, that's like freedom for everyone. Everyone should want that. It sort of sucks. That's the worst thing about politics. And Mark was saying this yesterday. It's turned into a popularity contest. Like we're not smart enough to be able to elect the captain of the ship. These are Mark's words. Because we've never been the captain of the ship. So how do we know who is or isn't qualified for it? I agree with that. So it turns into a popularity contest. Let's just hope the most popular person has the best intentions. We'll see. Where's the 58K gang? Now they're waiting for like 100. I think they're calling for 258K. Actually, yesterday, McLovin. I'm pretty sure that was the last call that I saw. Getting calls from people about this crypto thing going on at the moment. FOMO's kicking in. Yeah, like wait till 100K. That's truly when it happens. Like if you're coming in from a trade or a get rich quick scheme, if it's under $100,000 USD, it's easy money. Over what time frame? Not really that long. Obviously, do your own research. But once it gets to 100K, I just think there's going to be crazy FOMO. And why I say it's so safe under 100K is because people aren't really interested yet. So like over time, it's just such a solid place to be able to build a very solid foundation. And also it's the price it is. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant it is today, is right now. Buy Bitcoin. It's better to buy it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We can't go back in time, unfortunately. Any man with a time machine, like straight back. Even just like 2010. 757 for 0.01 Bitcoin is a bargain. 100% it is. And that's the best way to be able to see it. We've still got fiat. We can still opt the hell out. Buying Bitcoin at all-time highs is a rite of passage for most Bitcoiners, hot or strong. Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor, it's always be buying the top. It's the money. This video with Mark Moss, it's bullish. I'll get it out as soon as possible. I just want to edit it a little bit more. The person that has edited my podcast in the past, like Radio Silence. Bro, I've been saying that this since 5K in 2017. I had a mate saying it at 1.5K. Lol, live and learn, people. Yeah, it's sad. Ben Beasley. I'm pretty sure I knew someone in primary school with the name Ben Beasley. Strange. There's no such thing as coincidence. G'day, Ben Beasley. Being a Bitcoin, it feels like you're that hobo with a cardboard sign. The end is known. Yeah, it does. And we may not get the time frame correctly, but we can literally see the problem, and it's hurtling at us like a freaking comet. or maybe we're all distorted, and maybe all of this is wrong. Maybe everyone that's bought Bitcoin and taken it to a $1.5 trillion market, the 9th largest asset in human history, maybe they've gotten this digital scarcity thing wrong. Maybe we're all just had way too much Kool-Aid. Maybe. I don't believe so. I think I've had probably not enough Kool-Aid, and this thing is literally going up forever. But yeah, people are, I don't know, they either get it or they don't, but they need to get it very quick. G'day, Chads. Weather is perfect here in Alabama. Nice to hear 100 air. Such a great broadcast day, Sean. Truly appreciate everyone. So happy I put all my superannuation to Bitcoin last year. Future financial self is now secured. Well done. And here in Australia, not financial advice, talk to your accountant, but actually go and talk to your accountant. Today, call them up on the phone. Self-managed super is something definitely worth looking into to be able to do. I did it myself. It was literally the best decision, one of the best decisions. Align yourself with Bitcoin allows you to make better and better and better and better and better decisions, and they like compound over and over. But one of the best decisions in my life was going into a self-managed super fund. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying I use these super funds. They're super easy. I have no affiliate link with them whatsoever. I think there's other ones out there, but the process can take a little while. 3 months, sometimes a little bit more. It can happen as sort of early as 6 to 8 weeks, but time is ticking. And with Bitcoin, we can't control the price. We can't just stop it here. Where we're going to, maybe it's a good idea, but talk to your accountant and find out if it's best for you. See what your financial advisor says, bro. For anyone I know that's done it, for anyone that's done it before today, for anyone ever that's done it before today, for anyone that's just bought Bitcoin before today, you're good. Like, that's the power of Bitcoin. It's just time. But yeah, Blaze, like, well done. Well done. It's a bloody good feeling, hey. Best performing super funds in the world is Bitcoin and Self Super Fund. I lived in Fairhope back in high school and dated Miss Alabama back in the day. Johnny Midas. Well done. Andreas Antonopoulos is epic, 100%. Real good book, his first book as well. Love a big steak, mate, and that'd be awesome. Darren, I cannot wait. Hello, us, or hello, US, recyclable rockets. Like, it's insane. And these rockets, they fall from the sky, and then he catches them. You're like, what? Are we watching a video? Are we watching a movie? And there's people, like, walking around SpaceX, and they're just on their phones, and there's these giant rockets and stuff. You're like, what the hell? Is this all the psyop? Is this all AI? Because I haven't seen it with my own eyes. And you're like, this is so crazy. Like, is Elon actually sending up rockets, or are we just truly in the Matrix and we need to pull out the plug? I don't know. But it's crazy. If it's not a simulation, that's insane. The next big lie, it's bouncing. How do you get your super into Bitcoin? As I just said, I use these super funds, but talk to your accountant. Find an account that's favorable to, that understands Bitcoin. Good luck. Good luck. G'day, everyone. How's the simulation now? Yeah. From Mullen Bimby, bro. Interesting. Yeah, we've probably never run into each other, but pretty cool. Mullen Bimby's a beautiful place, part of the world. Hopefully you're not living there now. I'd not suggest doxing yourself so much. Sorry, Ben, if I put you in an awkward situation. I shouldn't have read that. McLovin, an end usually signifies bloody hell. A new beginning. Let's effing go. Let's just be clear. Let's effing go. Up and to the right, Kaz in the house. Was able to tune in live for a while this morning, but I have to run. Keep up the great signal. Enjoyed a grass-fed finished steak and eggs later today. I sure will, and I hope you are as well. Well, when I was at the butcher the other day, I've been off the carnivore diet for, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe. And out of those 2 weeks, I think there's like been 4 or 5 days where I haven't eaten street carnivore. I just keep going back to it. So I just talk about it real quick. Bought some grass-fed and then grain-finished beef. And side by side, the grass-fed looked more white with the fat and darker red. And the taste of it, yeah, it's like 100% better. But I bought them side by side to be able to see, to be able to cook one and the other. And it's like a little bit, but the grass-fed, grass-raised, grass-finished, overall, it's way more satiating. Howdy from California. Howdy from Cali also. I like California. What was it the OC or something? I haven't watched TV for, I don't know, 15 years, maybe a little bit longer now. But it's been like a hell of a long time. But I remember when I was like 6 or 7 or whatever, like a little kid, maybe as a teenager. And the OC in that song, California, I won't sing, I'm real bad at it. But when I see the word California, that's what comes into my mind. And the Sequoia National Park, I'm 100% sure. That's in California. If I've gotten that wrong, I'm so bad with geography. Sequoia National Park, yeah, California, is one of the most amazing places I've ever been. The trees are ginormous. If you live in the States, your national parks, you're so blessed. Like, they're so insane. I went here. It was actually the coolest day. So there's this other tree that was like laying over like this. And it had a tiny little hole in it. And I was sitting on top of it smoking a cigar. And there's this tiny little freaking bear thing. I don't know what the hell it was. It was like, it wasn't a beaver. I have no idea what it was. But it was so adorable. And it was like a bear about this big, or a bear looking creature, like sort of like the size of a koala bear, but maybe more looking like a gopher. What does a gopher look like? It was amazing. And I sat there with my cigar. No, this thing's way too small. But sort of like that type of face, sort of. It's like this big. Its face would have been maybe about that big. And I just sat there and had a cigar with this tiny little bear thing in Sequoia National Park. Like, it was freaking epic. It was absolutely amazing. I'll remember that day. I'll remember that moment probably for the rest of my life until I stop remembering things. But Elon has landed rockets and I struggle to parallel park. Yeah, I feel you. It's insane. The guy, you know, I'm not a video game player, but I really enjoyed his talk in regards to video games and the mental dexterity and the calming of the mind and the effects that had. But he's like in the top 20 in the world for Diablo. He's an insane man, and he really puts in the proof of work. Groundhog, let me bring up Groundhog. Would a groundhog live in a tree? Yeah, maybe. Maybe is one of these things. It's hard to know the size of it. Yeah, I think it was. I think it's one of these things. It was freaking epic. And he just like came out of the hole. So it was like a hole in the top of the tree. And he just came out and he just sat on the edge of it. And I sat maybe like 3 or 4 meters away. It was amazing. I just, like, when we travel, we went back to the States last year to Blue Ridge Parkway and Shenandoah National Park and stuff. Literally just to see the trees. Your country, America, it's so large and it's so diverse. It's freaking amazing. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And, you know, talking about politics, like one side or the other, fucking like all of it really is a distraction when the great outdoors is just outside, when we can stack Bitcoin, we can hold in self-custody, reinforce why we need to keep putting in the proof work, to be able to get more Bitcoin, to be able to go out to the great outdoors, then everything else is distortion. I think that's winning. Nancy, oh my gosh, Johnny White, so I'm not reading that one. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please just do something nice for yourself. We've got 777 there. It's a lucky day. All of us, like, we are so blessed. I am so blessed that you're here. Smashing the like button would mean the world to me. It really helps if you're like sharing the video. But the Mark Moss video is coming out. It's a true pleasure. And what I was saying is just do something nice for yourself, which maybe that stacking Bitcoin near all-time highs are under $76,000. Man, I'm saying like 67,000, but it's 76. We're just under. It's still cheap, and compared to where we're going to be in the next 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, like how long are you here for? It's always cheap. Why we can still buy it. It's an amazing opportunity. Then go out and do something nice for somebody else. We'll might drop that Mark Moss video tomorrow. We'll see. But get ready for it. It'll be mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Peace.
Everything seemed normal. Successful businesses were functioning as they usually should. Money was being placed in the bank as savings. Life was good. Nobody notices anything funny. But 2008 hits and all hell breaks loose. Everything we thought about money and the banking was a complete lie, a complete sham, a Ponzi, a scam. The whole world fell apart and a lot of people got hurt financially. And as a result of this, the Bitcoin white paper was born. But yet the same mistakes keep happening over and over again. People are leaving money on their institutions up until the last straw, FTX, when billions of dollars were lost, families were decimated, life savings were completely wiped, and people were wondering what on earth just happened. We have an option to take full custody of our funds, and that's Bitcoin. We just have to learn the process. It's not hard. It's just something we've never had to do before. Otherwise, the same mistakes are going to keep repeating themselves, and people are going to continue to get hurt over and over and over until they learn you need to exit the system in order to protect yourselves and your loved ones.